Hello students, good afternoon and welcome to class today. Our lesson is from Unit 11, page 66 and 67, okay? We'll be looking at how we can handle data. So when we have data, we can put it in a frequency table or we can put it in a tally table. So this is a frequency table and then this is a tally table. So I'm going to take you through how the frequency table is, and then we go to how the tally table also is in related to two football clubs or two football teams, Alpha United and that of Beta Rovers. Okay, so over here our frequency table is showing us the number of goals that Alpha United scored in different matches that they played. Okay, so the frequency that you see here represents the number of matches that they played. So this means they played 1 match, 6 matches, 2 matches, 4 matches, and that of 2 matches. And out of the matches, these are the goals that they scored. So don't be confused that you see frequency here. Frequency means the number of times that something has happened. So this is the number of times of matches that they have played. So we put a frequency there because we are representing the data, or we are putting the data into a frequency table, so we use frequency here. Out of this data is what we have used to prepare our bar chart. Okay, so in the bar charts you see the frequency on that side, and then you see the number of goals also at the bottom over here. Okay, so this is a brief explanation about a frequency table and how it is used to prepare a bar chart. Okay, on that side we have a pictogram. Okay, so the matches that Beta Rovers played has been put into a pictogram. So in the pictogram, this is the rule. The rule is that any ball or any round, complete round shape that you see like this represents 2 matches. Okay, so it represents 2 matches. So in 2 matches they scored only like no goal, it's 0, so no goal. And in these matches, so this is 2 and this is half, so making 3 matches. And this is 2 and this is half, so making 3 matches. So in 3 matches they scored 1 goal. So this is 2 matches because per the rule they scored 2 goals. So these are the pictograms showing the matches here and the goals that they also scored. The pictogram has been put into a tally table. So this is a tally table. So the tally table will show the number of goals, which is this side, and the tally also represents the number of matches that they also played. So this is number of matches this side, and this side is the number of goals that they played. So in 3 of the matches, which is this very one, they scored no goal, and the same way 3 of the matches, which is this one, they scored 1 goal. 2 of the matches, which is 2, this one, they scored 2 goals. 5, which means 2 plus 2 plus 1, making 5. Also they scored 3 goals, and then 4 they scored only 4 goals in 2 matches. That is why we have the 0 here. So whenever you have a pictogram, please look at the top to see if any instructions is given to you to guide you how to interpret the pictogram that you have. Okay, so now that we have understood the difference between a bar chart and that of a pictogram, the pictogram is going with a tally table and the bar chart is also going with a frequency table. Let's see the 2 questions that comes with this exercise before we move to our first task on this video. The first one is asking what was the highest number of goals scored in a match played by Alpha United. Okay, so this represents Alpha United, and the question is asking you what is the highest goal. So the highest goal scored here is 4. The number of goals scored is 4. Okay, so we say 4 goals. Okay, so that becomes our 4 goals for the first question. In how many matches? Okay, so now here the emphasis is on matches. In how many matches Beta Rovers scored 3 goals. Okay, so this is 3 goals. So in how many matches did they? So this is Beta. So we go to Beta, scored 3 goals, and the matches are 5. So in 5 matches, they scored what? 3 goals. Okay, so this is how you can always interpret your data by either using a tally or a frequency table. On this video, we will have our first task that will be from pages 68 and 71. We are doing questions 1 up to 7. You can find that from the learner's book section. Okay, so after this exercise, we'll go to our second video, which I'll see you with more explanation on handling data. See you. Hello students, welcome to our second video. I believe that you have enjoyed your first video and your exercise also has opened your understanding on how you can handle data. Okay, on the second video we will have our second activity. Okay, so we are doing handling data, and in handling data we can put our data in a bar chart, a frequency table, a pictogram, or that of a tally table. Okay, so quickly we will go to our second activity, which I will have to do maybe a little explanation for you. Okay, so I want you to turn to page 40 and 41 of your skills builder book section. Okay, so when you open to that section, we have 5 main questions that we're going to do. So we're going to do question 1 up to question 5. Okay, anytime you are working with tally, you should understand that when you reach 5 counts, you write it like this, and when it is 1, you only represent 1 stripe over there. Okay, so question 2, you are supposed to complete the table there. So your tally, the count of your tally here should be equal to the total that you have. Okay, so when you look at this one, the first section we have 8, so this is 8 over here, so which means this is 5 and 3, totaling 8. So if you are to complete this one, you are supposed to complete with 9. So how many marks are you going to put here? In every 5 stripes that you make, you need to make a separation before you put the other one over there. Okay, so you do these questions 1 up to 5, and if you have any challenge to understand any of the questions there, I will always be there to support you to understand anything. If any word too that you don't also understand, you also have to put it across so that I will also explain to you. So that will be your second activity on this video, which is task 1, pages 40 to 41. We are doing question 1 up to 5 from the skills builder section. Okay, so until then, we'll meet on the last video, which is the third one, and then we can conclude our lesson for handling data and have the homework for the day. See you in the third video. Hello students, welcome to our third video. I hope that you have enjoyed our 2 sections already. This is the conclusive part of our lesson on handling data. In today's lesson, to recap, we did something about 2 football teams, that is Alpha United and that of Beta Rovers. So these are the matches and the goals that they scored, which has been put into a frequency table, which you remember that the frequency is the number of matches that they played, and the bar charts or the bar graph also shows the using the bar charts to represent your frequency table. Okay, these are the 2 questions that we dealt with. In the case of pictogram is whereby we use pictures, okay, or we use drawings or shapes to represent a data that we have. So this was an example that we picked from our learner's book section. page 66 and page 67, and the pictogram was also translated or also shown in a tally table. Okay, so this is a tally table, and then this is a frequency table. In some situations, we can join the two. We can join the frequency table with that of the tally table. So that means the number of goals will be here, the tally column will also be here, and then the frequency will also be there. And you should always be mindful that your frequency and your tally, if it is about the same object or the same information, they are always equal. Your frequency and your tally are always equal, because the frequency means writing them in numbers, and then the tally also means writing them in marks. So they are always equal. Okay, so thank you for joining this section, but before we leave, we'll have our homework that we have to do. That will be from the Skills Builder, pages 42 and 43. We are answering questions on 1 and 4. Please make sure you do your homework before our next class, so that you don't lose any point or any score when it comes to compilation of your scores for final exams. Thank you, and see you next week. Goodbye.